Hello all, I'm Sai and in today's video, I'm bringing to you my review and discussion of Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, which was my book club pick for me. In June, we read The Wind-Up Bird Chronicle by Haruki Murakami, and for July this month, we are reading Mindset by Carol S. Dweck, which is a self-help book. Now, this is a literary fiction that is for adults, and I should say that of all the 7 books that I've chosen and read as book club picks for the year, this has been the best in every aspect possible. In this video, I'll be giving you a spoiler-free review for this book in the first 4 to 5 minutes, after which I'll be diving into spoilers and discussing a little bit of stuff with the people who have actually read the book. So if you've not read the book, I'll let you know when the spoilers start so that you can skip away from the video and not get spoiled for the book. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the various sections of the review right away. In the spoiler-free section, we are going to start with the plot of the book as usual. Now in this book, we follow our main character Kaya, and it is a heavily character-driven story. We basically follow the life story of Kaya from her childhood to her adulthood, and this book happens in the 1950s and 1960s during Kaya's childhood and adulthood respectively. Now when Kaya was a teen, she was in this relationship with this guy named Tate, who then goes on to college, because of which their relationship is abrupted. And after she becomes an adult, she falls in love with this man named Chase, who ends up cheating her and getting married to this other woman. A few years after Chase breaks up with Kaya and when she's an adult, what happens is, out of nowhere, Chase is found to be dead in the marshland where this entire story is taking place. And Kaya has also been abandoned by her parents when she was a child itself. She's been taken care of these 2 very kind people named Jumpin and Mabel, who are unofficially her adopted parents. And after Chase is found dead and knowing the association between Kaya and Chase, Kaya becomes the prime suspect for the murder or death of Chase, and who actually ended up killing him is the plot of the book. Even though this is the basic plot, I can say that of the 100% of the book, only 10 to 20% of the page count goes for this actual plot, and for the rest of the 80% page count for this book, we just see Kaya's life story unfolding in front of our eyes. So if you are a plot-driven reader, you might not get that much of a story from this one, but if you are here for the character as well as the place where it is taking place, it is just awesome. Moving on to the characters, we have Kaya, who's the main character herself, and her brother named Jody, who makes an appearance for a brief time inside the book. Apart from them, we also have the 2 boys with whom Kaya was in a relationship with, who are Tate and Chase in different time periods. We also have some police personnel, the people who are actually living in the marshland town, as well as Jumpin and Mabel, who are kind of parent figures for Kaya throughout this book. More than anything, if you ask me, the character work of Kaya in this one is absolutely well done by the author. She feels like an actual person who's out there living her own life, having her own difficulties, and being helped by kind people in the world. Her parents also have a lot of issues that are going on with themselves, because of which they end up abandoning the children, and also the children start abandoning each other as the book progresses on. There are proper reasons and explanations for why the parents and the children are behaving in certain ways as the story unfolds, even though they don't add that much to the plot of the book. So in terms of characters, both the main character as well as the side characters, who even make a very small appearance inside the book, are really well fleshed out by the author and are shown as actual human beings and not just like cardboard cutouts of people in the book. Moving on to the writing, I can say that the best part about this book is the writing. It is the strongest pillar on which the book rests on also, because without proper writing, a story like this one cannot be finished by anyone who reads it, because we basically don't have that much of a plot. We are just seeing the life story of a person running in front of our eyes, and even though this person is very interesting and a kind person, it can be totally ruined by writing which is not great, which the author has not done here. It is also the debut fiction book by the author, which is totally unbelievable if you ask me, because she knows the exact kind of words to be put into use in order to evoke the proper emotion from us, the reader, as well as to show certain things that are happening to our main character here. She also paints a beautiful picture of the marshland where the story is taking place, and we are able to see each and everything happening inside the book as scenes unfolding in front of our eyes. Even though it's just the first fiction book or novel by the author has also written non-fiction books before this one, which shows clearly in the writing of the author here, because she explains the geography of the marshland, all the kinds of plants and trees that grow there, the kinds of birds that are there, the animals that exist in this particular type of geography, and all other such stuff. Her writing is so good that the marshland itself becomes a character inside the story and makes us feel so many different stuff. Even the seasonal changes inside the marshland is vividly pictured by the author here through her writing and the proper use of words to us. So if you ask me, it is basically a book which is very beautifully written, especially for a debut novel. Finally, in the spoiler-free part, talking about the pacing of this book, which is quite slow, okay? And the slowness also doesn't change throughout the story. It starts out slow, in the middle also it's slow, and it ends slow too. Even though we follow a route in it, it's not like we want to flip the pages just in order to see the story unfolding. We want to flip the pages because we are just feeling so comfortable inside the story, inside this writing. Even though there are both good and horrible things happening inside here. The pacing is slow but consistent. So if you're someone who wants only fast-paced books or page turners which make you turn the pages just because of the fast pacing, I don't think this will be a book for you. But if you are okay with slow-paced books, if you're okay with seeing conversations between two people happening as scenes inside the book and taking your time with the people inside the book in order to know them properly, this is the perfect sweet spot in terms of pacing for the book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So my final rating for this book is 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I'm pretty sure that I will be reading some other books by this author also if they are in fiction. That's it for the spoiler-free part, and now I'm going to jump into spoilers. So if you've not read the book or if you don't want to get spoiled for it, I'd suggest you to skip the video from now and go to the outro timestamp. But if you're here for the spoilers, just hang in there because I have a few things that I want to discuss with you. Now moving into the spoilers, the first thing that I want to discuss is Kaya as the main character. Okay, because I think she is the best part about this book because, I said because a lot of times, okay, sorry, she is very likable. Okay, she's one person that feels super realistic, and all the things that happen to her make us empathize and feel for her a lot, because literally everyone in her life just leaves her as she starts loving them, as she starts feeling connected to them. It starts from her mother, father, her siblings, especially her sibling Jodie, and finally Tate too. It feels very painful to see that she has to go through all such things within such a short span of her life. By the time she's like 20 years old itself, she has gone through so many hardships, which just breaks our heart while we are reading the story. And it is also super realistic. It is not done just for the sake of drama as it is done in certain stories, but to keep the essence of the character and the plight that she's feeling true to its core. Despite all these things, it is not a sense of pity that I feel towards Kaya, but only a sense of like, because at heart she's a kind person. She wants to do good to the people that are around her, and she does not want to harm or hurt anyone, even though the entire townspeople are like totally against just her being alive. Even the first and only day of her school was very brutal a scene to read, because children who are brought up by parents who are deeply conditioned and prejudiced like that will behave in such a way to a person who's seen to be an outsider. That was very heartbreaking to read, and we get to see her as a child that she's literally like under 10 years old in that scene, and it just breaks my heart even now to think about it. I'm just glad that it did not keep happening over and over again, because even though it's not a good thing for her to stay at home and not study, having her go through all that stuff without anyone to console and convince her to be feeling worthy of herself would be much worse. So Kaya as a main character was just perfect inside the story. And next, talking about the relationship that Kaya had with Tate. Okay, it was very beautiful. It felt very realistic too. Now, even from the beginning itself, it is shown to us that Tate is a guy who is very much ambitious. He wants to do what he wants to do because he knows what he's good at and he knows what he wants. And he does not want to give up on his life dreams because of a teenage love, even though that love is pure. At the same time, it also shows us that he has been brought up in a really proper way and good way by his dad, because the relationship that he has with his dad is very decent and healthy as it is shown to us, and that reflects in his behavior towards Kaya also, except for the fact that he ends up abandoning her. Even after years, when he comes back and apologizes to her, it is made clear to us that he's not trying to win her back. He just wants to apologize to her because he has understood and realized that what he has done is not right. No matter whom it is, and no matter how much knowledge anyone might have on certain sensitive stuff like this going on in life, he felt that sense of responsibility that he is responsible for the plight that Kaya had, and he knew that he owed an apology. So the relationship that both of them shared was also really nice. Next, I want to talk about Jumpin and Mabel. Okay, they are like the rays of sunshine in Kaya's life, and each and every scene that had both of them with her was just wholesome to read. Okay, if you ask me, Jumpin and Mabel as themselves require a different book just for themselves narrating their story. They just show the amount of commitment they had to this girl's well-being, and it was also totally unselfish, which just felt really good to read. There's also a kind of kinship between them because this is happening in the 50s and 60s in the US. So obviously there have been even more racist people back then. And if I'm not wrong, Jumpin and Mabel are black. And of course, they might have also felt the same kind of prejudice and conditioning from the people as they had been showing it on Kaya for her upbringing. The way in which they wanted to comfort the girl so that, she has at least someone to give her a shoulder to cry on was really, really nice. Especially the scenes where Mabel goes forward and gets clothes for Kaya from the different people so that she has something to wear for her own age in an appropriate way, and how she helps Kaya through her puberty, and how Jumpin keeps on getting stuff from her when she is a child so that she has the sense that she can earn her own living. All those things were really, really beautiful to read about. Next, talking about Chase, and if you ask me of all the things, literally all the things inside this book, the only thing that could have been avoided, cut off, and cropped away from the story is Chase, because only he is the root of all the bad things that happen here that escalate to a huge extent. Okay, even if the town people are causing a lot of problems to Kaya, it's not like it is going to ruin the rest of her life. But Chase's death ends up doing a lot of problems to her. It puts her in prison. It makes her feel so much bad for her life, which is already not that great. And the guy also felt like a huge pile of shit even from the first scene that he was shown to us, okay? After we see Tate and then we see Chase, I don't understand, okay? I don't understand why the author had to put such a character in here. I think he was just put in there in order to be killed so that, we get this kind of plot that is distributed throughout the story. So yeah, I did not like Chase at all. He has a verb for a name. That's like a huge red flag if you ask me. And Kaya should have done his name first, okay? She should have chased him away when he came near her for the first time. I think all these shenanigans could have been avoided if we did not have Chase inside. Finally, talking about the ending, I should say that I felt the ending was perfect, okay? It's not like Kaya goes forward and tells to the world that she was the one who ended up killing Chase, but also she tells it in her own way to Tate alone that she was the person who was responsible for Chase's death because he ended up raping her, okay? Which is one of the most horrible things that can be done to a person. She's been violated and she sought revenge in her own way, and I think it was great. Okay, it is an amazing way to end the book. It is also not blatantly clear. It is quite ambiguous. We don't know whether Kaya kills him or not, but I take away that Kaya did end up killing Chase, which feels very satisfying to me if you ask me. I'm being very honest here. I'm so glad that she ended up killing him. Even though she spent like a couple of months in prison, I'm pretty sure that it's worth it. It's not going to do it for anyone else in the future, and is also going to send out a message to the other people who might have such an idea in their mind that they can go forward and cheat a person who's abandoned by everyone else in their life. So yeah, as a whole, that ending just felt super satisfactory too. So yes guys, that's it for my review and discussion of Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I enjoyed the book thoroughly, and if you have read the book, please do let me know down in the comments whether you liked it or not. And if you did enjoy watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.